of farm inputs in Nigeria has increased over the years. While these farm inputs are often promoted as inputs that increase agricultural productivity, their use may have negative effects on human health and the environment. Although the use of the chemical farm inputs reduces the incidence of harmful pests and insects, increases yield and food availability, reduces the drudgery associated with hand weeding, however, these gains come with the potential for real cost. According to Africa Development Bank Group, agrochemicals are often toxic to humans, as is well documented in the toxology literature. Occupational pesticides exposure can have minor to acute negative neurological, respiratory, immunologic, and reproductive effects, and the use of certain types of agrochemicals is positively related to diagnosis of cancer. Research has also shown that pesticides especially can damage human immune systems, increasing the incidence of short-term sicknesses over time. Chemical farm inputs may also contain persistent organic pollutants, POPs. POPs are chemicals that persist in the environment, bioaccumulate through the food chain, and can cause deleterious effect in human health and the environment. There is also a link between excessive use of chemical fertilizers and climate change. According to Greenpeace, the use of chemical fertilizers is a significant source of greenhouse gas emissions and contributes greatly to climate change. Fertilizer use is responsible for the highest single share of agriculture's direct greenhouse gas emissions. Excess fertilizers result in the emission of climate change-causing gas, nitrous oxide, which is some 300 times more potent than carbon dioxide. In a bid to prevent the harmful effects on human health and the environment of agricultural chemical inputs, Women Environmental Program, WEP, supported by Global Environmental Facility Small Grants Program, is teaching farmers in Dobi and Pagana communities how to prepare and use organic fertilizers and pesticides that are more friendly to the environment and to human health. This is done under the project Controlling Chemical Fertilizers and Pesticides Used Through Organic Farming in Dobi and Pagada Communities in Gwagwalada Area Council, Abuja, FCT. The project has a goal of improving human and environmental health by contributing to reduction in the release of emissions of hazardous chemicals into the environment.
And the GEF basically is a supporter of environmental projects all over the world. In actual fact, GEF is the largest funder of environmental projects in the world. GEF has three components. We have the full-size project, the medium-size, and the small grant. And it is the small grant that I manage here in Nigeria as the national coordinator. Specifically about the projects that WEP is currently implementing, it has to do with chemicals, and all over the world we know the effect of unsustainable and abuse of the use of chemicals, especially by farmers in the farms for the agricultural practices. Many have gone into the use of inorganic fertilizers, which, of course, immediately they may see the effect, but the long-term effect of using chemical fertilizers is very, very bad, both to the environment and to the people who are using it. Unfortunately, because the effects are not seen immediately, people tend to just throw caution to the wind and then they just use it.
So far, we have trained over 300 farmers on producing organic fertilizer and pesticides by themselves, and also the organic manure. With this knowledge, they don't have to buy the inorganic fertilizers and pesticides. They will use what is available within the environment to produce that.
What we intend to do is to reduce emission from the agricultural sector, and as such, everything that contributes to emission, to greenhouse gases emission, we want to minimize. And as a result of that, we all know that nitrous oxide is one of the major greenhouse gases from the agriculture sector. And this is gotten from fertilizer, especially the chemical fertilizer, the inorganic fertilizer. So promoting organic fertilizer, by promoting organic fertilizer, we will be reducing the amount of nitrous oxide that is being generated from the use of inorganic fertilizer.
This project will help transform the lives of women and youths by reducing the impact of chemical fertilizers and pesticides on women and youths by providing alternative organic fertilizers, and this will help them health-wise and improve their agricultural produce as well, and which is why WEP specifically chose Pagada community and Dobi, and we've been working there for the past couple of months, and the progress so far has been amazing, and the farmers are gradually adopting the use of organic fertilizers and pesticides.
Dobi and Pagada communities in Gwagwalada Area Council of FCT are predominantly farming communities. Farming in Dobi and Pagada are characterized with intensive use of chemical fertilizers and pesticides.
Sincerely speaking, the organic pesticide will help farmers in Dobi community, because 90-something%, let me say 99% of people here are farmers, and we have pesticide, insects, pesticide that disturb our crops and the farm. Now when we receive training on this, how to make our own organic pesticide, we are highly very happy.
To get the people of Dobi and Pagada communities to embrace organic farming and enjoy the benefits of reduced costs, improved health, and reduced environmental degradation, WEP conducted town hall meetings in these communities where they were sensitized on the dangers of chemical fertilizers and pesticides.
The chemicals that you use, every year you go back to buy them and use them. When you are using them, they will make you depend on them. The year you do not use them, you not have a good harvest. Yes, you receive good harvest better than if you did not use chemical, but they make you rely on them, and the effect that they have on your health and the environment over a long time is not what should make you to continue to use them. We are telling you this because there are alternatives that have been used elsewhere and have proved very well, have done very well. And that is why we are telling you that the use of chemical is not good. There are alternatives, which we will also talk about them.
This was after the community leaders had accepted to put up community action committees to coordinate their members to benefit from this life-changing project. After the town hall meetings, having sensitized on the negative health effects of using chemical farm inputs and how much farmers would save from producing and using organic fertilizers and pesticides, many became interested to participate in the training on producing organic fertilizers and pesticides.
Ganyen dogon yaro mun sa cikin turmi mun daka, an dauka shi an sa cikin roba an kai waje an aje, za a bar shi kai tsaya a wurin tsawon minti 30 kafin a dawo da shi.
First, it was the training on pesticides production that was conducted as farmers wanted to apply it on their crops that insects had started eating up. Some farmers tried this after the training and gave testimonies on how effective and useful it was. Farmers were taught to produce the following pesticides: neem leaf pesticides, neem oil pesticide, garlic pesticides, chili pepper pesticides and a combination of garlic, onions, and chili pepper pesticides. This was followed by a training on organic fertilizer using neem leaves and neem seeds, which community members learned earlier under pesticides training, again featured here as they were taught how to prepare neem leaves, extract, and neem seed cake.
My name is Isha Kundalaji. I'm from Dobi community. Women environmental programs train us how to produce organic manures and pesticides. And when this woman environmental program came into, so we found out that there's a lot of differences, because the one that we normally bought in markets, it has a side effect, even in the human bodies and even in the crops. It will not possible to apply the one that we sell it in market and still enter the farm and do work, unless you have give at least 1 or 30 seconds. But this program, that's Women Environmental Program, their own organic fertilizers, manures, is very good. You can easily apply it and at least you can eat it.
It's a very wonderful training. And this training is a very wonderful one. I learned a lot. One of the things I learned is I learned how to manufacture this pesticide.
We have learned wonderfully how to produce environmentally friendly organic by pesticides that are not harmful to the environment, which namely they are neem leaves, neem oil, garlic, pepper, and other things.
We felt that it is important to create awareness of the use of chemicals, especially among the farmers, so that they will know the danger of using it. If they have to, go ahead and use it. But of course, more importantly, is to introduce alternatives to them. Alternatives, I mean, in terms of organic fertilizer. These things, fortunately or ironically, these organic fertilizers are things that traditionally we are used to. But because we get some imported products and then they give us immediate results, then we tend to just jettison the one that we know that has worked for us over the years without any side effect. And so it's just kind of creates awareness and bring them back to some of these traditional, like mulching.
Having acquired skills to produce organic fertilizers and pesticides, it was important that community members have a source of the important raw materials they need to sustain production of organic fertilizers and pesticides. Based on this, WEP provided neem tree seedlings which were planted in communities.
Since when we start this training, we women, when we normally used to farm in backyards, I enjoy it since when we start this training. I know they use the first chemical again, is manure chemical. Challenge what we be get, that neem trees will be not be get time before, but wipe don't bring it for us. So we thank for this.
We appreciate the Global Environment Facility Small Grants Program, GEF-SGP, implemented by the UNDP, who have provided this support for us to carry out this project. With this project having been implemented successfully, we are sure that the objectives and goals of GEF-SGP, as well as the mission and vision of Women Environmental Program, would have been realized.
But most of our crops, even maize, if you plant maize and you don't use insecticide, the grasshoppers, there are small grasshoppers, they will finish it. But with this new method of controlling the insects, we actually sank the web and the GEF that discovered that we need this type of thing. Because to buy this insecticide in the market, that cost a lot. So we are sincerely very happy, and the workers who has came here to introduce this thing, we thank them, we appreciate them, because most of them they are committed.
With the evidence from the demonstrations done by the communities, we hope the communities have found better alternatives to chemical fertilizers and pesticides. What they have been looking for in Sokoto is actually in their Shokoto.